Okay. Um, we're responsible for our own decisions. That's what I want to say. But our decisions that we make on a day to day basis are stemmed from something. They stem from good things and it stem from bad things. Stem from good spirits, stem from bad spirits. When people drink, it's called a what? A spirit. And it is our responsibility to pray for these people. These people who have to get out here on the streets, whether it be a fireman, whether it be a policeman. When I say fireman, I mean a fire person. Whether it be a fireman or a firewoman, whether it be a policeman or a policewoman, whether it be the postman or the postwoman, we have the final say so. Okay? But if we leave our community out for whatever, then that means spirits kick in and they take over. And I find it hard to believe that if each one would just pray for one, that we can't cover this. I believe the crime rate will go down. I believe that the usage of drugs and alcohol will go down. Venereal diseases and health problems, mental health problems, physical problems, emotional problems, all of that can be reduced if all of us would get together and pray for one person. And I'm going to start. And I hope you join me. And then we're going to get into these names. I'm going to call out each person's name, each person who was unarmed and killed by police officers. So they won't be, one, they won't be forgotten. And two, as the song says, call my name, say my name, acknowledge me. And that's what I'm going to do. So the first person I'm going to pray for is my son, my oldest child. His name is Demario Platt. He's married and he's got 2 children. And he commutes to and from work. He drives and he's dealing with the public and sales. And so it's my prayer that my son has a long, healthy, prosperous, productive, safe life, that he lives and not dies, to fulfill every purpose and plan that has been placed on his life. Now, he's not the only person I'm going to pray for, but that is me starting this. I'm going to be responsible for the things that I'm responsible for. Don't hesitate to pray for your doctor. Don't hesitate to pray for your postman. Don't hesitate to pray for your knucklehead neighbor. Okay? So we're going to get back to these names. I shared with you that each video, I'm going to call out these names. And as the opportunity allows me to, I will get additional information. Keith Childress was murdered December 2015 in Nevada. Betty Jones was murdered December 2015 in Chicago, Illinois. Kevin Matthews was murdered December 2015 in Michigan. Michael Noel was murdered in Los Angeles, December 2015. Leroy Brown was murdered December 2015 in California. Roy Nelson was murdered December 2015 in California. Nathaniel Pickett was murdered November 15th in California. Tierra Thomas was murdered November 2015 in Indiana. Charges were brought against the police officer. Cornelius Brown was murdered November 2015 in Florida. No charges were brought against the police officer. James Clark was murdered November 2015. I believe this is Minneapolis, Minnesota. I believe that's what this is. No charges were brought against the police officer. Richard Perkins was murdered November 2015 in California. No charges was brought against the police officer. Michael Lee Marshall was murdered November 2015 in Colorado. No charges were brought against the police officer. Alonzo Smith was murdered November 15th, Washington, D.C. No charges were brought against the police officer. Dante Parker was murdered August 2014 in California. Ezel Ford was murdered August 2014 in California. John Crawford III was murdered in Ohio 2014. Dontre Hamilton was murdered in Milwaukee April 2014. Trayvon Martin was murdered 2012. Kamani Gray was murdered 2013. Rakia Boyd was murdered 2012. Tamon Robinson was murdered 2012. Ramarley Graham was murdered 2012. Ayanna Stanley Jones was murdered in 2010. I'm not exactly sure if that's correct. Tanisha Anderson Cleveland was murdered November 14th. Akia Gurley, and Tanisha was murdered in Cleveland. Akia Gurley was murdered in New York, November 2014. Rumaine Brisbane was murdered in Arizona. Jermaine Reed was murdered in New Jersey, December 2014. Tony Robinson was murdered in Wisconsin, March 2015. Philip White was murdered in New Jersey, March 2015. Eric Harrison was murdered April 2015 in Oklahoma. Walter Scott was murdered April 2015 in South Carolina. Now, there are a lot more names, and I will continue to get those names. I will continue to call out those names. Kind of like a tribute to lives snuffed out entirely too early. These people will never be mothers. They will never be fathers. They have not been allowed to contribute to society in whatever manner they were going to contribute. Everybody contributes at a different time. Everybody doesn't contribute at the age of 18, 22, or 30. Some people don't get it until they're 50. Some people don't get it until they're 35. And these opportunities have been taken from these individuals, black men and women. Their lives were taken from them entirely too soon. And we need to make a change. We need to come together in solidarity. We need to pray. We need to pray for ourselves. We need to pray for each other. I need to pray for you. You need to pray for me. Pray for me. Somebody out there pray for me that I say the right things, that I speak on the correct topics, that I show respect where respect is due, and I earn the respect that is due, because I am doing this. This is bigger than me. This is bigger than my children. People have been refused the opportunity to leave a legacy behind because of the color of their skin. So my foreparents were good enough to build your house, to dig your ground, but we're not good enough to be respected and protected. That's enough for now. I love you and I appreciate you. I love you with the love of the Lord. This channel is not for venting. It's a channel for change. If you got anything out of this, please subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up. Make some suggestions, because I'm new and I'm learning. And I'm going to learn from you. We're going to grow together. Bye-bye.